Who is ready for some forward motion that's fortified by care and gentleness? I am, and this week supports it. Happy almost full moon in Libra on the 1st, and welcome to Our Waking Dream. I'm your host, Coco Swanson. I'm a spiritual strategist, mentor, and I am here on this show today to offer a complimentary embodied astrology lesson going over one or a handful of themes that are moving through the week and what we can do to orientate in a place of power and sovereignty and leadership within our own life. At the same time, I have offerings on my new site. There's a leadership studio that's going to launch in the middle of April. And that's for anybody needing extra support in how to integrate healing, transformation, change into their inner atmosphere to create outer change at a personal and professional level. And I have the Solutions Lab, free, live problem solving. Join on the newsletter. Enough about me, now about the astrology. Can we just take a deep breath and celebrate that all planets are direct and that we are officially in Aries season and that we have a gorgeous but pretty dynamic full moon coming up on April 1st. Aries is all about go. It's initiating. It's about your passion. It's also about anger and war. Aries has a steep learning curve. I went over that last week. It deserves a crash course because it can burn things down. This said, we really want to be in our passion. We need to be in our passion. Earth and humanity, in my opinion, need all of us in our passion, in our purpose, and so that we can activate our potential and create change together. This is a great time for that. This said, okay, Aries. Let's go over it a bit. Oh, and as an aside, sorry that I don't have my normal mic this week or last week. And so I apologize. And my cat's in the background trying to steal the show. So we'll keep the focus on me. Okay, you couldn't see that over on podcast. This set. Aries. So I'm just going to bring the cat in the show. So Aries, we've got going on right now. Aries, the sun is in Aries on the full moon on the 1st. It means it's opposing the moon in Libra. So right away, it's a time that we want to have focus on both the Aries and Libra principles. So I'll go over that. But the full moon's squaring Jupiter in Cancer, and that's a whole nother layer. It creates a different emphasis in Aries when we bring it into an opposition with Libra and a square with Cancer, with the planet in Cancer, which is Jupiter. That adds a nuance to Aries that is worth taking note because we can really level up our ability to initiate change if we're paying attention to more of the subtle layers this week. So what's that mean? Well, Aries is a sign of initiation and fire. My cat is really wanting to be a part of it, and I'm just going to roll with it. So you'll hear little meows in the background now. This said, Aries initiates, it's a me sign. It's the first sign in the zodiac. So therefore, it's a me sign because I am. When I'm born, I am. That first burst of life is not meant to take into account other as much. Libra, on the other hand, the opposite sign of the zodiac, is all about us. It's about balance and harmony, how we speak and how we listen. So you can see it's a real needed aspect to balance Aries. We have Libra. And so this moon on the 1st and in preparation for it right now, depending on when you're listening, this is a time to really take into account, how are you? Are you more of an initiator, me? Or how are you with listening and speaking? Libra sometimes needs more emphasis on self, on speaking truth. So it's really looking at this balance this week between your initiation and your fire and your anger. Aries is anger too. So really looking at how we want to use our anger and what we're fired up about, because there's a real force, a real energy behind the Aries, that spring burst of life. And if it's expressed towards anger and discord, that's going to become really apparent during this full moon. And in general, who doesn't want to temper their own fierce fire with the ability to listen and be in harmony in relationship? And that's what we want to look at with this full moon. As well, it's squaring Jupiter. Jupiter that's stationed direct, at all planets direct. Yes. It's in the sign of Cancer, which is all about nurturing and care. And so how does your passion also care for you? How are you cared for? And how do you care for those around you? How do you create nurturing space at a personal, professional? And how are we doing this at a planetary level? Big questions up with this full moon. I always suggest inquiry as practice number 1 on this show. And the inquiry this week, you want to check in with multiple themes. So with Aries, are you passionate? Are you angry? Are you ready to initiate? Or do you feel stifled in your sense of self, in your sense of passion and initiation? That's 2 sides of the same coin. Same with Libra. How are you at listening, at creating balance, of speaking your truth, but creating space for others? Or on the flip side, is your voice stifled? Could you use more practice holding space and listening to another? And with Cancer, it's, are you nurtured? In which ways are you nurtured authentically? And how about for those around you? How are you caring for those around you? Because there's a balance between how we care, how we listen, and how we initiate that's important to look at this week. Practice number 2, I suggest, is a dance move. It's a slow dance move. It's helping your nervous system feel a fantastic future before it's landed. If we're initiating and we want to do so with care, well, how do you care for yourself? We create atmospheres for our nervous systems to feel safe. And we can do so with a simple slow dance. It sounds silly, but the sillier the somatic exercise, oftentimes the more powerful, the more embodied we become, the more strength we have in the exercise we're doing with the soma, with the body. So, what are you fired up about right now? What are you passionate about? And this can be something you're either angry about at a personal planetary career level, or something that you're feeling really passionately drawn to, that you'd like to start, that you'd like to experience. Well, you bring it up and you imagine that you could hold it. You hold it as if you're holding like a tiny baby, maybe like a kitten baby or something at your heart, like just little. And you dance it, you imagine. Again, if you're new to somatics, allow yourself to be silly and imagine like you're a child. And the more that you hold that which you're fired up about, that which you're passionate about, and you say, I'm open to change. I infuse this with all the love that I have. I am open to change. I infuse this with love. and then you dance it. Do you all know the I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream? I didn't warm up my voice before I sang, but that is the energy behind this slow dance. It's allowing your passion to be held in a fairy tale atmosphere. What if we really are in a realm of miracles that's fed by our love and our passion and our care? So if we imagine a situation that we feel passionate about, that we're either angry about, or that we feel excited about, and then we stop and infuse it with our breath and our movement in a little slow dance with maybe a song, it changes. We change, the outcome changes, everything changes. Energy changes, and so does form. If energy changes, the form, the thought forms, the relationships, the actual physical form of what's here can't help but change. So practice number 2 is finding what you feel fired up about and infusing your love and movement in a little slow dance to allow it to change. Practice number 3, I suggest, is all about you being an instrument of change, an actual instrument of change. And this is again looking at how energy creates form and how we can change energy quite subtly with sound. So humming. Whatever tune you want, humming. And I place my hands at the base of my head. That's where my vagus nerve comes out. And my hands, my fingertips are at the base of my skull, and the pads of my hands are around my neck. And that tracks the directional flow of the vagus nerve, a very important nerve for our nervous system to feel at ease. So this exercise is great if you're feeling emotionally triggered, fired up. Whatever you're fired up about is usually something you really care about. And if you care about it, it'd be great if you could create change within it. To create change will shift the energy. You bring up the situation that you're triggered. Then you have your hands on the back of your neck and hum. As you hum, you imagine that whatever it is you're triggered about is dissolving, is softening, is releasing back into love, to a place of infinite potential. You imagine that simply as you hum. Think of the trigger, think of the situation, hands on your neck, hum, and as you do so, you imagine, sense, and feel the whole situation dissolving back into potential. It's quite simple. Here is the tricky part about somatic exercises, is that they are not hypothetical, they are experiential. So we can talk about somatic exercises all we want, yet if we're not doing them, they don't work. I mean, I guess we might assume that, yet it's really easy to talk about things, and I notice it's a lot easier to scroll than it is to do them sometimes. So if I want to be an instrument of change, and I am fired up about something in the world, I can claim that fire and redirect it through intention, through sound, through breath, and through touch. I can do that for myself in any moment, and that initiates my internal mechanism, my heart, my body, and my mind, and it activates my power as a being. I'm in my body. I'm in my vibration, sounding and breathing, and I'm intending to change, and energy follows intention. It's as simple as that. I'm curious how it lands for you, how all these things do. So at first, Aries, 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 but this week, the forward motion of Aries and all planets direct come into the Libra full moon, where we look at care and listening and balance and harmony all at the same time as having this nice forward motion. And then secondarily, a suggestion is to slow dance your dreams, slow dance your passions, infuse your passions and the situations that you would love to see change this season and move this season. Infuse them with love, with the softening into change, with care. And the third practice is to become an instrument of change, primarily by noticing when you're in trigger, pausing, and humming with your hands on your neck to actually become an instrument. Is an instrument. We're sounding an instrument of change. And the world needs us right now. Your life needs you. I'm sure your family, your career needs you, and the world needs all of us. So we can join together in co-creating a much, more sustainable, regenerative, fantastic trajectory for humanity. Micro to macro, solo and in togetherness. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening to this episode of Our Waking Dream. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here in service, and I will see you next week if I don't see you at the Solutions Lab. Okay, bye. Thank you for being a part of our community here at Our Waking Dream. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Fill my cup and let it overflow. Let it overflow with love.